Hello, I'm Jeff Bolt, the Director of Advancement for the Christian Reformed Church. I'm here with Peter Augersma, Director of Advancement for the Church in Canada. And we're here doing our fourth recording of Ministry Share Reimagine and what you can expect. And today we just want to bring you up to date on how things are coming along. Peter?
As you'll recall, we had our 6-step diagram of the key process of what is going on. And today we're going to give you a quick recap of where we started and where we are so far. And I'm going to turn it over to Jeff to talk specifically about number 2.
So the second step was for churches and councils and congregations to determine what the pledge was. And we know that we were hoping that this would take place back in August and September, and we know that there are several churches that are still working on this. It's been taking a little bit longer than we had anticipated. What we're excited for is that churches are taking this very seriously and looking at it very closely. And I think one of the biggest things that we saw coming through this process is churches are struggling with multi-budget years. Many of our churches did not have to worry about ministry shares on 2 different budget years. With the pledges and the ministry share changing from a calendar year to a fiscal year, there are churches that are looking at it and saying, now we've got to figure this out on 2 budget years. I want you to understand that is not really something new. It's new for you in your church, if that's what you're making a determination on. There have been many churches that have had to make this same plan throughout the years because their fiscal year just did not line up with the ministry share calendar year. So please, we understand that you're working at this, and it's hard this time. It always is. And but we're excited that you're taking time to do this, and we thank you for that.
So coming out of that process, each classis, and the thought was this was going to happen in the fall, and many classes have met. Many classes have collected some of those pledges that have come in. But our encouragement to you is, as you get through that process, send those pledges on to your class's clerk or your class's treasurer, and they will complete them and provide access to us at the denominational office.
And then there's the step that we're working towards for January 31, when the final pledges will have to be submitted to the denomination. We encourage you not to wait until January 31. But we are giving that amount of time. But on January 31, we will be locking it down and using the final budget, the final total as the anticipated ministry share contribution by all the churches.
So a few things to keep in mind. We know, and as Jeff mentioned earlier, the first time is the hardest for a variety of reasons, the complexity of multi-years, and this is new. We've given you some flexibility on how to make the choices, how to determine the number. We've not given you the number. And in one sense, that does transfer the responsibility and the determination onto the local church. And that does make it harder. We are appreciative of your efforts as you go through this.
And this helps existing. This is about existing ministry. We're not asking you to make pledges for new ministry programs. This is for ministry that we already are doing on your behalf. This is Resonate and 125 missionaries. This is Back to God, 10 different languages, 2 billion people being touched by their broadcasts. This is ministry supporting your church in what you need help with or encouragement with. It's important to remember this is about the ministry we are currently doing, not something new. Peter?
So a great example of that is Dwell curriculum. Dwell is a digital curriculum that our Faith Formations group has created that allows every Christian Reformed church across North America to leverage the insights created a reformed perspective brought through for Sunday school curriculum that allows us to teach our children the same curriculum that we, the church, are learning on a Sunday as well. We continue to invest in Dwell curriculum, but that costs money. And we want to ensure, as an existing ministry, that we can continue to fund the efforts that we're putting into Dwell curriculum. And we are appreciative of the dollars that are coming in, of the pledges that are coming in, to allow us to continue to support the ministry of Dwell and every ministry that is supported through Ministry Shares.
Some additional things to keep in mind, and I think this is starting to be a question in the mind of the churches, is that we are going to be using the old Ministry Share system from January through June of next year. So the first half of the year, we will still be carrying through with the old system. What that means is, like every year in January, you will receive a letter from the denomination. It will indicate what we have on record of your number of active professing members, and what the amount of Ministry Share we are asking you to contribute to. This, of course, will be for half a year. So we'll divide the amount in half, and that will be for the first half of the year. And then your pledge amount, what we're asking you to do right now, create a pledge, will start July 1 of 2021.
So as we look at the pledge that we've asked you to do, I would again ask that you share your pledge as soon as you can. Share that pledge with your stated clerk from Classis or treasurer, depending on who's managing this process at the local level. And a thank you to those churches who've submitted those numbers, to those Classis clerks and treasurers who've submitted those numbers as well. We're appreciative of those coming together. We are, as Jeff mentioned, eager to get more of those numbers together so we can see what direction we're heading into. I'd also like to remind you, or let you know, that we do plan on reaching out to some churches just to understand that pledge number a little bit better. There's a comment section on the form, but we'd like to understand, for those churches who are pledging more, where they would like that additional dollar to come into. What is it about the Ministry Share system that is encouraging you so much that you've decided to increase that pledge? And likewise, there's some churches that have decreased their pledge. We'd like to understand what it is, what priorities have changed for you. And as we fund the variety of ministries within the Christian Reformed Church, which of those are no longer aligned, or which of those aren't the priority for you at the local church that's caused a change in your pledge?
So we're coming to the end of this video. There's some additional resources we always want you to be aware of. You can go to crcna.org Ministry Shares and find bulletin announcements, bulletin inserts, annual ministry reports there, the infographics to help you understand where your Ministry Share dollars are being used and invested. You can see impact stories and videos there. You can also email Peter and I anytime. Peter's email address is there, as well as mine. And we would love to talk to you about any question you have about the Ministry Share process here. We are more than happy to talk with you. We're more than happy to meet with your council by video at this stage. Anything you have, please share it with us, let us know, and we'd be excited to help you out or answer your questions. Peter?
That's all for today. Thank you so much for listening and for being part of this process. We appreciate everything you do. Thank you.